Our journeys may differ, but the human desire to belong is universal. Hi, I'm Hema, a teacher educator, an author, a scribbler, and a podcaster. As someone said, a pedagogical polymath. Welcome to the TheHemaZone, where I build bridges across diverse perspectives and cultures. Every first Wednesday of the month, I'll weave a narrative on a compelling topic on the arts, movies, books, and education. I love plays, listening to them, watching them, reading them, directing them, but not acting in them. I remember the days when the British Council in Chennai Madras in those days, had shelves of plays published by Samuel French. I would spend hours sitting on the floor in the inside room just reading scripts. Seriously though, even when we read plays, most times we read the dialogue. Do we even remember the other parts of the script? We never look at what comes before the dialogue in the script. And much of it is so informative to the cast, the crew, and the director, telling them what the dramatist had in mind when the play was written. Stage direction served many purposes, as all acting classes will tell you. The most common stage directions have to do with blocking characters' movements. Enter right, exit left, walk swiftly downstage right to upstage left. But I'm not conducting class here, though the classroom is my natural habitat. I'm going to talk about stage directions that I find interesting, intriguing, and some that set me wondering, what on earth? How on earth? I'm going to probably refer to plays that many of you may not remember, know, haven't seen, read, but bear with me. Just look at the directions. Read them for what they are with me now. That's all we need to do. Shakespeare had some of the simplest and most effective stage directions. Enter Ghost or Enter Three Witches. It immediately immerses us in a mystical, otherworld environment. The starkness of the stage direction sets the eerie, suspenseful tone of the scene. The brevity of the directions leave it up to the director to decide what else can be done to add to the atmosphere. Dim the lights to 50%, blue spot on stage right, red light under the cauldron. What kind of music or sound effect? An owl hooting, a whooshing sound, or just deathly silence? Some stage directions can be obviously dramatic. An angel crashes through the ceiling. An iconic, shocking moment. A mix of realism with magical and mythic imagery. Let's try this one. The lights dim as characters enter one by one. Much more specific, but to achieve the same effect, emphasizing a dramatic entry and a mood shift for each character. And this one is much more detailed. The sounds of lumber snapping, smashing, and glass breaking consume the stage. The sounds of a lifetime being swallowed, consumed. The sounds of a lifetime being erased. Again, here the directions focus on sound effects, emphasizing the sense of grief and loss that pervades this play. And you want to know what the play is? I'll tell you later. Stage directions tell a story, whether it's describing places or people or what's happening. Close your eyes and imagine this one. Interior of the cave house where the bride lives. At the back, a cross of large pink flowers. The doors, curved archways with lace hanging with pink ties. For the walls, a hard white material, curved fans, blue vases, and small mirrors. Describes the set. It contrasts color pink, all pretty and sweet, with the cave house, all dark and menacing. Hard white with mirrors and fans and vases. And it sits so well in a play titled, what do you think it should be? What would you call it? How about this stage direction that's also very specific and very detailed? Christopher screams. He hits the floor. He holds his head in his hands. He groans. Used to convey Christopher's sensory overload, who's autistic, captures the world through a neurodivergent lens. What do you think of this description of Abigail Williams, one of the characters? A strikingly beautiful girl, an orphan, with an endless capacity for dissembling. This is not just a physical cue, but an incisive psychological insight into a 17-year-old. Her beauty and ability to lie get you prepared for her false accusations of her neighbors of witchcraft that send more than 20 women to their deaths. Her orphan status indicates her vulnerability, which she exploits. All of this is set up front in a single stage direction of just 12 words. Remarkable. A stage direction that intrigued me was they're all played by the same character. Sounds weird, huh? Is this play a mono act played by one character? In which case, why state that these particular characters are played by the same character? But if I tell you that this play about cloning and explores diverse identities, does the stage direction take on a different tone then? Well, consider this one. They do not move. Stage directions are meant to indicate where characters are meant to move, to do something. So what's the point of telling the characters not to move? But this is one of the best theatre of the absurd genres, where you're staying, standing, being are the whole point of the play. I saw a production of it on Broadway with Sir Ian McKellen and Sir Patrick Stewart, better known for playing Gandalf and Star Trek's Picard respectively. And if you don't know who they are, the best performances I have ever seen. They guided us through a rhythm of movement and stillness that was breathtaking. They crossed the Andes. A stage direction like this sets me thinking of how on earth can a school auditorium, or most stages in India, accommodate such an action? Tricky to execute, mountains, high ones, snow-capped. And this is from my favorite playwright. Algernon enters with a handkerchief in his hand. How's he holding it? Limply, waving it like a banner, holding it up in surrender? In a play by arguably the best writer of society comedies, it has to be a delicate and elegant movement. Knowing the context of the genre of play and the character is essential to interpret any entry and the use of a prop, especially in this case. Now for the coolest of them all. Ready for this? Exit, pursued by a bear. I'm always inclined to laugh out loud at this melodramatic stage direction. Then I remember that this character dies a gruesome death off stage. Okay. How many of your quizzes or literature buffs and identified the quotes in real time without Googling? And how many are irritated I didn't identify the plays and the dramatists in most cases? I'll put the answers up on my Instagram next Wednesday. Check back on the TheHemaZone or on my website at thehemazone.com. Thank you for listening to me today. Share this podcast. Follow The HemaZone on Instagram. Catch me on Facebook at TheHemaZone. And I'll be back with more compelling stories on my reading, writing, travels, teaching. Scribble me a note on my webpage at TheHemaZone.com about a person or topic that interests you. Check on the first Wednesday next month for another episode that will nurture the curious and empathetic child in you. One who isn't afraid to explore, dare, take risks, and celebrate both success and failure. Check back in 2 weeks, the third Wednesday of this month, for a chat with a debut author about her intriguing book. And perhaps in the meantime, you'll have read one of the plays I've just talked about here.